Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Entertainment Expansion. We are your hosts, Tyler Callahan and Mike Ferrante. Mike, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing just swell, my friend. We've had an abundance of things to watch in the streaming world, hence what we are talking about today. I'll let you take it away. I know you enjoyed this movie.
Well, yeah, you're talking about streaming. I went to see this film opening weekend. It was both of ours, one of our anticipated films of the year. And Ken, I'm going to come out of the gate swinging. Massive disappointment. I think right now, depending on how Halloween Kills does, this is easily the biggest disappointing film 2022. And of course, I'm talking about Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oof.
That's right.
What?
A Taika misstep.
Listen, there is such a thing as too much Taika.
Yeah. So you want to start or should I?
I'll let you start. It seems like you want to get something off your chest.
Okay. It's just, I've been looking forward to talking about this film. I've had my thoughts at this point since July. So, just about 2 months. I am disappointed. And I will note, I finally watched Jojo Rabbit for the first time about a week and a half ago. So for me, my experience with Taika is Thor Ragnarok to Jojo Rabbit to now this, which obviously is a lot of people's experience based on the timeline. Just Jojo Rabbit was like 2 years ago. The drop off in quality compared to those two movies, which are great films, to this, it is shocking. I don't know if Taika just, no offense to him, if he just kind of sniffed his own ass and thought more jokes the better. I don't know if it's Marvel being like, hey, we need to increase the laugh to balance out the cancer storyline, which, look, I think my issues with the film, two main parts. One, the cancer storyline with Jane. One, we knew it was coming. I understand that from the comics. You need to handle that shit better. It's cancer. Like, yes, there are a lot of treatments these days, which can help prolong lives by, 10, 20 years. But I think in Jane's case, they don't explain what the cancer is. And I think that kind of makes an issue that her, one of the smartest scientists around, Elvin Selvig, right, who was in for a cameo appearance, again, one of the smartest scientists around, could not come up with anything. I find a bit odd. I think an easy plot, right? If I was to rewrite the script.
I mean, come on, man. You can't really go down that road because they're astrophysicists. They're not.
Okay, fine, astrophysicists, but I mean,
they don't go into cancer and like treatment for that.
No,
like,
no. All right,
come on,
all right,
man.
all right. Hold on. One,
you're barking up the wrong tree with that one.
I'm barking up the wrong tree. They had an entire scene where they're back and forth trying to run all these blood tests and compounds to try and fix something, to fix the cancer. So, yeah, they're astrophysicists first and foremost, but they're known as smart people. They gave it their scientific best or astrophysicist best. I'm just saying, simple rewrite. The cancer is not a cancer that she got normally. It's from when she had the Infinity Stone, the ether, in her during Thor 2. That's why she can't go to a doctor, chemo's not working, immunotherapy's not working, surgery's not working, nothing's working because it's from an Infinity Stone that caused the cancer. I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, they kind of wrote themselves around having to do that because she found out late in the game. If you remember, when she went and got checked, because she kind of ignored all the symptoms first and just thought she was tired and this and that. And then when she finally got checked, she had stage 4 cancer. Well, when you're in stage 4, that's kind of rough, man.
Yeah, I mean, can you come out of it? Yeah, but it's a lot bigger fight. But I don't know. And I feel like they balanced the jokes poorly with that because you bring back Jane, boom, she has cancer. But then, boom, immediately she's a new Thor. What the hell is it with a lot of stuff being off screen? The fact that she transformed into Thor off screen.
Yeah.
Valkyrie saw that off screen, knows she's battling cancer off screen, and kept it from Thor. Like, there's a more exciting movie off camera. I don't want to keep ranting. Just stay focused on Jane Foster. Mike, what were your thoughts on how they handled her as a character, with the cancer, with the hammer?
Well, again, I'll agree with you with the fact that a lot of stuff happened off screen in this movie, which makes you really ponder when everyone most of the cast said most of this film was left on the cutting room floor.
It shows.
It really does, because that kind of explains the rushed feeling of the movie. Because who knows, maybe there were scenes that, spread out the jokes throughout the film, because a lot of the jokes kind of seem seen back to back to back. Maybe there were scenes where there was no joking involved. That could have paced it out better. I doubt it, but it's a possibility. And that kind of goes for everyone's character. I feel like they handled certain things right, kind of with her cancer, especially towards the end of the film when Thor brought her back to New Asgard and was getting her treatment there, and was basically telling her, "No, you can't come with me because the hammer is what's killing you. It's literally taking the rest of your life away and expediting the cancer's process." And she brought up a really good point. Why would I want more years of living like this, hooked up to all these tubes and treatment with very little hopes of getting better?
I agree with you there. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like, because like the point is like, look, if she's got to be hooked up to those machines to get an extra 20 years, then she's down for it. But if this is what it's going to be for 5-10 years and then die, what is the point? That's good. And I also think, I will say, to like I said at the end of the film, I think they handled how she dealt with the cancer at the end anyway better, in that it is her choice. She knows she is going to die doing this, but she is the one battling cancer. It is her choice to either try and find a cure or to help Thor. She chooses to help Thor in his time of need. And as her choice, it is like, it's not like she's dragged to the final fight and has to help. It's like she came there of her own free will and she went out like a badass. I'll say that.
She did. And this brings me to another point I have. There's a good movie in here somewhere.
Yes.
There is. This had a lot of things making of a great movie, and for some reason, it just didn't piece together. It was too rushed. A lot of the story beats felt rushed and forced, but there were some great acting moments. For example, when Thor gets saved by the mighty Thor, Chris Hemsworth acting in that was actually kind of decent, because it went from kind of joy in his face to realizing what that joy is about to cost him.
Yep.
And the disappointment, looking at her like, oh no, like this is it. To them accepting that or to him accepting that this is her choice, this is her last battle, this is what she wants. Let's make sure it's a good one. So I think that definitely worked out. But overall, the film was definitely way too much jokes, and Taika, with very few of them actually sticking. For one, at least for me, that stuck is the Jealous Stormbreaker. I thought that was kind of funny and unexpected.
For me, it was Jealous Stormbreaker, and honestly, the goats. Specifically, when they land on Gore's planet, they smack into it and you just hear the goats. I'm like, all right, that one was funny.
Yeah, the goats were okay.
Thor's hammer was better, but yeah.
This is another small blink and you'll miss it, I guess. But Korg's boyfriend at the end that he's making a kid with.
Yes, The Rock.
Dwayne.
Yeah.
Dwayne The Rock. Like that's a big head nod there. So I thought that was pretty comical. But I gotta say, the majority of the jokes don't really stick as much, and not enough gore.
Well, you brought up my second main issue with the film. This kind of ties back into what we've been both saying. There's a good film here somewhere. A lot of it happens off screen. All I've heard, and again, I'm not someone, and Mike, you're not really someone either, that reads the comics. But I like to stay knowledgeable when things get brought up. Like I don't read the comics, I have nothing against them. And I like to soak in the information when new stuff happens. So when Comic-Con came out and they said they got Christian Bale for Gore, all I heard from comic people online is Gore the God Butcher. The God Butcher is coming. Menacing villain. Mike, I don't know if we saw the same version of the film. I didn't really see a lot of God killing in this film.
No, I saw a couple here and there, but not nearly enough to develop him as a threat. You see him kill his first god, and you see the aftermath of other gods he killed, but we don't really know how much of a true villain and formidable enemy he can be.
The only scene we see that in, where he is formidable, is when the Guardians see all like the hundreds of alerts show up on screen because that planet's god has been murdered. That's it. Like he went on a massacre across hundreds of planets, and we see that from the Guardians responding and then bouncing. Not a great way to tell a story.
No, not at all. We could have
And
used some footage of some god butcher.
I don't know if it was ever come up as in discussion. I don't know what's Taika's reasoning for it, but storyline wise, it is right there in front of them to have Gore show up into the city and kill a bunch of gods in front of Zeus. I'm just saying, like, we'd get the Gore butchering in person. We'd see how big of a threat he is. Maybe Zeus will want to team up and admit, all right, fine, maybe we don't have this under control by ignoring the situation because their city's been destroyed. Like, storyline wise, that is the one quick way you can shape up Christian Bale to be like, you don't fuck with this guy. But all we hear from Thor, from Valkyrie, is this guy's a menace. But we don't see it. And to be fair, the first guy he killed, he kind of earned it too.
No, absolutely.
Like again, these aren't like at no point I don't like I'm not like at no point throughout the film I was like, wow, we really need to kill this guy. Like the only dickhead thing he did was kidnap kids.
Yeah. And that was just to lure out the other gods.
Yeah. So
literally just the one, because Asgard only really has one left.
Well, really, he only needs Stormbreaker.
But I don't know. I didn't mind the whole rest of. Yeah, that's true. I didn't mind the rest of the gods kind of sitting out of it, because it kind of proved the point that these, especially these older gods like Zeus, the most famous god of all, the fact that Thor even brought up, yeah, he's a big inspiration of mine, sitting it out because he's so full of himself and his ego, he could care less of what really happens.
It's not really a God issue.
Correct. And how divided they are. Oh, that's an Asgard problem. That's an Earth problem. Like, it doesn't matter to him.
I agree with you there. Like, again, the scene, the city setting by itself and what happened, for the most part, I'm fine with. But then again, you need to, again, this film is just under 2 hours. Okay, cool. Have Gore kill, like, show us to a planet where he's murdering a few gods. Like,
Agreed.
Give us something. Because, like, all right, if you're not going to go kill a main character, that's fine. Even though they made it a point throughout the film, Valkyrie doesn't really want to be king and deal with political BS. And I wouldn't really mind dying in a blaze of glory. Like, they made the point, like, lightly, because again, this is a jokey film, she's somewhat suicidal on this mission. Like, yeah. I don't know if you picked up on that. Like, she says it, like, lightheartedly, but yeah, she's like, yeah, I wouldn't mind dying in the blaze of glory. That's why I'm joining Thor. It's like, okay.
Clearly not as suicidal as Jane, but
yeah, but that's saying, like, if you're not killing one of the main characters, Jane doesn't count because really the cancer and the hammer not finished her out. Didn't kill Thor, didn't kill Valkyrie. You wounded Valkyrie, but again, she's fine.
Didn't kill Korg.
No. Zeus almost did, but even he couldn't finish the job. So yeah, I mean, we're kind of talking in circles here, but yeah, this is a film where, again, this is a great director. He knows how to write a script. He won an Oscar for writing a script with Jojo Rabbit. Yet somehow either he thought, or Kevin Feige or executives somehow thought this needs to be just under 2 hours. They have filmed 4 hours worth of stuff. Christian Bale has said most of his scenes are on the cutting room floor. Mike, you've mentioned a lot of scenes are on the cutting room floor. There's a good film here. We're just not seeing it.
Correct. It kind of and
I'll tell you right now, we're not getting Taika Waititi's Thor: Love and Thunder. We ain't getting a Snyder cut on this.
No, we're not.
This is it.
Yeah, which is a real shame. I don't want to keep hitting the nail on the head when I think we've driven our point home.
I don't know, it's just like, I feel we need to let it out because we were really hyped for this. And even the trailers looked really good.
When we got them.
When we got the trailers. Yeah.
Which was a bad sign right from the start. The fact that the trailers just started dropping, a couple weeks before the film was supposed to be released?
I'm going to say for this one, that's not an issue. There has been stories coming out over the past few months where Marvel Studios have not been the best client for special effects artists.
Correct.
Basically,
and I heard that the special effects weren't finished for a lot of the movie.
Yeah, so I don't think
that's why we got this rush job.
Well, you also have to think too. It's not just a rush job, which it does kind of look a little rushed in a few spots. Marvel has to deal with Sony releasing No Way Home. They only dropped the Doctor Strange trailer and start promoting that movie after that movie came out. And then as soon as Doctor Strange came out, you got to switch to Thor marketing. So they were kind of on a tight timeline as well. There wasn't a lot of wiggle room, especially since they didn't delay the film.
And I think that's another big problem. If the movie wasn't ready, I would have preferred them delaying it and waiting another couple months
Yeah,
and getting a better film out of it. Give it the
agreed.
time it needs to be a good film. Because I'm sure when we talk about the positives in this movie, which I hope you have some, because I sure as hell do,
I do.
it'll
Oh,
prove our point that there is a good movie in here.
before we move on to positives, I gotta say, I hate Thor's new costume.
Which version of it?
The version toward the end of the film, not the one with the Viking one with the fur coat. I thought that was badass.
Yeah.
And then he switches to like the super giant plastic armor, right? Because like he wants to look impressive in front of Jane. It just looks so fake.
Yeah.
Like it looked bad. Like either have like skin tight armor from the earlier films. Again, the coat one where he was with Korg and the Guardians. I thought that was cool. The biker outfit again screams 80s. It worked for the film. Yeah, it was not a big fan of his outfit for the majority of the film.
Now, was it the outfit in general or the coloring?
The coloring did not help. If the coloring was less bright, I probably wouldn't have noticed it as much.
Yeah.
It's bulky, but it looks like cheap bulkiness. You know what I mean? Like it didn't look like it was made from the finest Asgardian metal or whatever.
That's true.
Like again, mighty Thor's armor and suit looked better.
Well, it's mostly. Yeah, that's true.
All right, positives. I liked how we got to see more of New Asgard.
Yes. And how it became a tourist spot for basically the rest of the world.
You can get ice cream at infinity cones. Love it. Even though it's kind of dark humor considering what happened in between those 5 years. But hey, you got to make a buck. Capitalism.
Exactly. That's not New Asgard ain't even in America. Can we talk about probably the best positive in the entire movie?
What's that?
How about that grayscale action scene we got?
That was, I think, the best scenes in the movie.
Again,
because once they hit the planet, you have Christian Bale, amazing scene where he has him tied up, monologuing, great. Like you said, the fight scene, black and white, fantastic, grayscale.
Except with certain color actually showing through the grayscale.
Yeah, that's what makes it stand out.
The light blue of Thor's hammer, the Bifrost, Gore's eyes, things like that. Like this movie did a lot stylistically that looked awesome.
I would say the fight scenes in general were pretty good. That's the best one, clearly. Yeah. But again, the action in this film is good.
Agreed. There was even decent character development throughout the entire film.
For Jane, yes. For Thor, kinda.
I mean, Thor, you got him dealing with his grief.
I think they needed to write it a bit better how he was being a bit dumber and jokier than normal because he's still trying to get through his grief.
Agreed.
But again, that's more of a pacing problem, which we've discussed. I think Valkyrie in dealing with wanting to be king or, that character development, I thought was pretty good. Gore as a character and how they wrote him, I thought was good in the time we saw him.
Yeah, they gave him a great reason to be the God Butcher.
Yep.
And not really much else because we didn't really see him much else.
It's true.
I'm kind of running out of positives here.
I have one more positive. When it's not a joke per second kind of thing, when they do have the more serious character development scenes, it works.
Agreed.
It works. Thor and Jane on the boat right before they get to the planet where they kiss. It's a touching scene. Again, just when the characters get a chance to breathe and talk, I enjoy it because the characters in those scenes are written well. The acting's really good. It's when the jokes don't hit and we're not seeing the story progress and we're only told about it because it happened off screen. That's where this movie falls apart.
Yes, agreed. Also, everything that happening off screen, Heimdall having a kid.
I wonder if they're pushing Heimdall having a kid and him being a focal point is kind of like, well, we kind of need Heimdall for this in the story. He's like, yeah, but you killed him. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he had a kid.
It's like, all right, cool. Would have been nice to know if he had a wife or anything like that, or had a love interest that we.
No, it's okay. He's in Valhalla now. He's chilling.
It's exactly my point. And this kid's been around for a while, so
he's chilling with. Also, how is How did Jane get into Valhalla?
Thor, the Thor powers.
Okay.
She went out exactly like Odin did. Also, cheers to Thor letting that one woman down. I forget what planet he went on. She's like, oh, at least we'll be in Valhalla. Well, actually, no, you won't. You have to die in battle. Maybe your arm's in Valhalla somewhere, but you
Oh,
ain't
you mean
go.
his friend Sif?
That was Civ?
Yeah, from like Thor 1 and 2.
No, she didn't die. She was in the end.
Yeah, but isn't that who he was talking to?
I don't think so. I think that was someone else.
No, I thought that was. Oh yeah, no, it was someone else. Yeah, never mind.
Because Civ was training all the kids at the end.
Oh yeah, no, she fought Gore, but only lost an arm. But again, that's something we see off screen.
I don't even think she lost an arm because she had both when she was training the kids.
No, she didn't.
Okay, maybe I missed that.
No, because they go to the planet because she sends the distress signal, and we get there, we just see the arm, but we don't see the body. And then she's in New Asgard at the end. But again, that's another thing missed. Thor, Civ, 1-on-1. How's she lose the arm? How does she get out of there? Like, would have been cool to see.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a lot going against this movie than there is for it.
Yeah. So I think it's time to get to our recommendation. Mike, do you recommend watching the film?
This is kind of a tough one. Is it important for you to see this movie in the grand scheme of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Absolutely not. If you want to see this movie for occasional good character development and seeing how the Thor and Jane storyline ends, yeah, it's kind of necessary. If you're not really interested in that or seeing an awesome grayscale battle, I don't think you need to see this movie, unfortunately.
All right, so for the YouTube video, I'm just going to put you down as a no. That's what it sounds like overall.
It's a no with an asterisk.
Okay, I'll try and add an asterisk. For me, it's going to be a flat out no. Just you honestly answered it for me. Look, they set up Hercule, the Revenge of.
I'm sorry, who?
Sorry,
Who?
Hercules. Sorry, let me get it right. Hercules, a character we'll see in like 5 years.
No, we're not saying it.
We have Hercules. We have the Revenge of Zeus. We have Thor with Gore's daughter. Can't wait for Thor 5 in like 5-10 years. You really don't need to watch this. Again, as a film, it is less than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
It's the best way to put this. By all means, scroll through on Disney Plus for a few minutes. Watch the fights on YouTube. You'd be done 10-15. You watch the clips on YouTube or Disney Plus for 10-15 minutes. You've caught up. You've seen the fights. That's all you really need to know. You don't need to sit this for 2 hours.
Well, less than 2 hours.
Yeah, it's like 1 hour, 50 minutes or something.
Including credits.
Yeah, and post-credit scenes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, as always, these are just our thoughts about the film. I doubt yours will be much better than ours, but please feel free to let us know why we are right on this movie at Entertainment Expansion. Check us out at Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. As always, thank you for listening. Hopefully, we'll be talking about a better movie soon.